Today we're doing something special on an actual PS2 again. But it's not Sly Cooper, because I'm saving that one for a live stream now. Today we're going to be playing Ratchet Deadlock. And I'm joined by a good friend.
Hello, me, Xcess Vira.
I hope to God this sounds okay. And I've decided to go back to doing these little animation things, because why not?
I mean, they're fun.
Yeah, they are. I don't know what save to get rid of. I'll go with this one. I'm going to start this from the beginning, do it on hero difficulty. And this game, I always think this game is much longer than it actually is, but it's just tedious. It's not actually, like, bad. As far as the difficulty or anything. No, it's just... Of this game in the series, it's mainly just a bunch of, like, not mini games, but, like, little challenges you can get done and do.
Oh, okay.
So, unlike the other ones which have stories, in the first and second one, they had something called, like, just different game arenas. So, like, in the second one, it was, like, Megacorp.
Okay.
And just essentially just a bunch of mini games. I'm trying to remember the names, because I haven't played these games in, God, years. Squeak. Also, because I'm a terrible host, he can't hear any of this.
I mean, I could always, you know.
Give him collars and see if he gets some work out of them first.
Squeak.
I could pull it up.
I mean, I could figure out a way, but
No.
for the commentary to you and me, I could set my mic to this, and that's what you would hear.
No. That's fine. This works anyway. In a small way.
Oh no, I might have to do this like actually in person with you, so that way you can actually hear it. Just throw you a set of headphones or something.
You figure it's just because it's a PlayStation 2 and like specifically or what?
Well, we're limited by what Discord could do. So in all honesty, I could technically set up another Discord and stream the audio into that, and that mic would be what you hear if I really wanted to. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a simpler way to share the feed of this, but because I'm doing this via a capture card, it's kind of hard.
It's fine for now, though. I just don't want to talk over anything important, that's all.
I mean, if I really wanted to, I could just live stream this, but who knows. I mean, I'm going to keep this kind of short before I live stream, so when I do the Sly stuff, you'll actually be able to hear that. But since I'm going through the track of PS2 games, I figure I'd go to one of my favorite PS2's titles. I mean, I could be playing the ISO version of this on the Steam Deck. It would look better, but I'd still be kind of going through the same hoops. The only difference is it would still be going through the capture card.
True.
Good, Ratchet. There should be a teleporter nearby that will take you to the next stage of the qualification course. Greetings, hero, and welcome to Dread Zone. Rest assured you are now far beyond the reach of hope. There will be no rescues, no pardons, no possibility.
Actually, fun fact for you. This game actually has an alternate title. So for us in the West here, it's called Ratchet Deadlocked, but everywhere else it's called Ratchet Gladiator.
Huh.
Because the whole
I
point of
wonder what
this,
came about it.
the whole point of this is that you're in a gladiatorial arena, essentially. That's kind of the gist of it.
Ratchet, I have figured out a way to get information to you without Vox knowing. Pay attention to secret messages at the bottom of your screen. At the top of your screen is the experience bar. As you destroy enemies, you gain experience. When the bar is full, you will gain a level, and your nanotech will increase.
So the fun thing, or at least for me, about this game is the fact that it's essentially just waves of enemies that you can kind of mow through. So it's not like anything that's too tedious. I mean, of course, because of the type of game it is, there's some challenge stuff where it's like do certain tricks or ride certain vehicles through matches without dying or getting hit or anything like that. So there's certain tasks like that. But the more you play, the better you get at it because you can level up your weapons, level up your health, your experience. I mean, the levels and health are kind of a staple to the Ratchet series, but yeah. Also, for some slight context, because I know you can't hear it, the guy is telling me that we have essentially a collar around our neck, so if we go out of our approved areas, we'll have this happen. And if we disobey or become boring, we can be remotely killed at any time. Like that. And of course the guy has to end it with a pun of, don't worry, it's nothing to lose your head over, right?
Congratulations, Ratchet. You made it through the qualification course. Check your map. There should be a teleporter nearby. Use the teleporter to meet me back at our red zone containment area.
So how'd the live stream go earlier, by the way?
Oh, I mean, live stream was fine. I was just playing some Super Mario 64 for a little bit, milling about until I realized that I could make it less mundane, but that took like maybe 15 or 20 or so minutes me doing that. So I ended up, or I think the stream itself ended up ending at first, and then I had to make a part 2 after milling about on that. But other than that, once I got that situated, I mean, it's fine. I mean, the whole thing is that I'm just trying to get more into trying to, I guess, talk more while I play instead of just aiming for what I'm aiming for.
So basically what I struggle with, gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like you say, sometimes you just need somebody there to help you just have conversations and whatnot. It's more interesting.
Usually.
The booty.
Oh, basically we call it listening to a pop song. And we have new battle bots. Got him off a fellow contestant because we're kind of forced into this. So it's the last contestant doesn't need him anymore.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got you.
So we got our new battle bots because the fun fact is this game can be multiplayer. It has it has online multiplayer and it also has split screen. So I could actually have you join me on this.
Oh, okay.
I've not really done the multiplayer on this though. Like I've done the split screen but not the multiplayer. Because this is one of those early PS2 games where you could actually do multiplayer broadband. Actually, I got the case right here. So yeah, it was online broadband only. Oh, it can actually go up to 4 players.
Yeah, it's probably like a multi-tap thing.
Yeah. And apparently it's via the network adapter, can go anywhere from 2 to 10 players.
Oh.
So that'd be interesting. Oh, and this was also one of the few one of the few games that actually used that damn USB keyboard that they had, along with a PS2 headset.
They basically tried to do like a fantasy star online thing.
Honestly, this would have been around the same time that they would have done that, so... Yeah,
That makes
skipping
sense.
the cutscene. It's just him trying to sell this whole thing.
This is it. Let's introduce our first contestant. He's a Lombax. He spent time in prison. He hates candy and children. Let's hear it for Ratchet and Team Darkstar.
Oh, there's only one reason I would really want you to be able to hear this, and that's the announcers. They're essentially dicks the whole time to you, but they're usually funny about it, because one of them, I don't know his actual name, like the actor's name, but he kind of reminds me of Timmy's dad from Fairly Odd Parents.
Oh, okay.
That's
funny.
And then the other one is Juanita. Actually, just look up a YouTube for it real quick and you can kind of see it. Just Ratchet Deadlocked announcers. And I fell into the lava. Oh, the bot didn't die this time. Amazing. And to think this is kind of the standard for shooters nowadays, is these controls.
Remember to use your wrench if you are low on ammunition.
Doesn't seem too bad though.
What you mean? Oh, just their comedy?
Yeah, it's actually. I mean, I get what you mean when you say the like the Fairly Odd Parents. But
Yeah, I don't know his name, but I swear he just kind of reminds me of Timmy's dad. Like, I've heard his voice somewhere else before, I'm just not sure where. And I died.
right.
I don't know why I'm looking up the voice actors now. He's playing the game.
Right.
The ADD's kicking in hard. Yeah, I'll figure it out later. And right into the... I swear I'm usually better at this. I'm not used to these controls, I guess. That's the excuse I'll go with.
You're nervous.
Nervous, huh? No, I'm not nervous. You're nervous.
Why am I nervous?
What was with the arg?
I don't know.
Oh god. Don't worry, you're nervous. Arg. Yeah.
Arr.
It's gladiators. It's Viking combat, not pirates in the space.
Pirates in the Vicodinian. I don't know. Maybe I am nervous.
Maybe I am a nerd. No one will know.
Oh.
I would love to see this remade. Or even just ported to Steam would just be awesome. The only reason I'm doing the
Not
PS2,
ported.
yeah. The only reason I'm doing the PS2 port and not the PS3 one is because the PS3 one has a lot of graphical glitches. Something wrong with like the modeling, some of the characters. So you see like the dude that was on the stream that was talking to us. Sometimes his eyes and his teeth can kind of pop out of his skin.
Oh, not enough testing.
Yeah. The PS2 games are really hard to port. They did the entire trilogy and ported that forward, but they didn't do Deadlocked or any of the others.
Why does that sound familiar?
Always because Nintendo's done it. Why can't I play? Oh god. I might have to adjust the difficulty. Or I need to get better. I'm gonna get better.
No, don't adjust.
Well, this is also one of the interesting games where I could honestly go here and just be like, huh, let me just change the settings and actually switch the difficulty.
Yeah.
I forget where, though. Nope. I don't know. There's also cheats, but those aren't normal, like, cheat code type of things. It's just like, oh, hey, you got the skill points to buy it, so you buy the cheat you want to use.
Right.
And improves your maximum nanotech level.
You're just hopping in the lava there. I gotta remember this game. It's like each little bit I'm just remembering and I'm just getting right past it just by a hair.
That's only what happens, yeah. Get refamiliarized with it.
Something along those lines, I guess.
Dread Zone challenges sometimes use bolt cranks to activate devices or lower force fields. But be careful, Ratchet. The bolt cranks may trigger incoming waves of enemies.
Running out of ammo. These things hurt. They need to give me some ammo. At least I got 15 shots for that.
Ratchet, my scanners show an extremely deadly 70mm stalker turret ahead of you. You need to get behind cover immediately. The shields on that turret are impenetrable. You will have to use an EMP to take them down. Command your bot to toss out an EMP by pressing the left directional button.
There we go.
Excellent work, Ratchet. Now
Alright.
that you have survived
Like he was aiming for the button, not
you
me.
will be allowed to join us back at our containment area.
And that was just the qualification course.
Let's keep this quick, Box. Oh, well, far be it from me to keep the superstar exterminator from his busy social schedule. I just have one question for you. Okay, shoot. Would you like to buy an Ace Hardline video game? How about an Ace Hardline lunchbox? Action figures, movie rights, collectible trading cards? Ace Hardlight is the perfectly manufactured celebrity, straight from the presses of the Gleeman Fox Media empire. So tell me, why is it that I can't give this stuff away? Well, don't answer that. Let me take a wild guess. It's because my fans can't stand Ace Hardlight. He's a pompous with the charisma of blogging nut cheese. So, what are you saying exactly? Sip it, Wonder Boy. The little Billies and Susies of the world are spending $1 trillion a day on worthless swag, and I'm completely cut out of the market. Either you start selling this junk, or I'll find someone who will. Now get out of my sight.
So, for those that didn't hear, he's mad because the dude that was there is the most perfect manufactured celebrity.
You need to choose where
Because
you
he's
are
worried
going
about
to be.
merchandising. And because no one can stand the perfectly manufactured celebrity,
Take you to Dread Zone Battle
he's
Courses on
basically
the
arguing with
planets.
him to
It
get rid of
travels
the
on a
junk, or
planned
he will.
course. Any tampering with the damn computer causes the ship
Because it's like, hey, this should be making money. Well, why isn't it making me money, Wonder Boy?
to explode.
And now I can actually start going to planets and doing challenges. This is gonna be funny. You're having to like guess some of this audio, and then I'm pretty sure you're gonna go back and watch it and just be like, "Oh, that's what I was missing."
Yeah. It's actually kind of funny watching it this way because it has me enjoy the expressions a lot more. I do like the way the movements are.
Catachrome 4, Juanita, as we kick off a brand new season of Dread Zone.
That's right, Dallas. And we're lucky enough to have a bird's eye view of the action.
Even from up here, this season's Dread Zone battle courses look bigger and deadlier than ever.
It's a wonder contestants keep volunteering, isn't it?
That's a good one. Oh, yeah. The Fox construction team really outdid themselves in turning this once sacred robotic burial ground into a deadly Dread Zone battle course.
And look, here comes today's first contestant. Oh my, they're really scraping the bottom of the barrel to find these guys, aren't they? I hope you folks at home aren't too squeamish, because the next one looks like a leader.
Ratchet's first objective is a gimme, Juanita. All he has to do is make his way to the other side of this mountain pass.
The shields on that turret are impenetrable. You will have to use an EMP to take them down. Command your bot to toss out an EMP by pressing the left directional button. One of your combat bots is incapacitated. Use the revive command to bring him back to life.
Oh no! I'm already almost dead, and all I gotta do is get to the blue light. That's what I mean by like this is really short. So I just started, and the first challenge is to get up there,
Right.
and that's it. Made it. Challenge 1 completed.
Even though you almost died.
That's like how short this is. So the rest of this is just going to be wandering around. Like this second one here is like the biggest of it. But then the third one is where that blue light is to go into that little arena thing up there. That's it. So it's you're moving like within 30 feet at a time, some of these.
Alright.
Good luck, kids.
Ratchet, you have to cap
Actually, how much were these? 10, 20,
all 3
15.
nodes to extend the bridge.
I don't like being recorded. Okay, all the cameras. Oh no, like there's floating flying cameras. You can shoot them down for money, which in this game is bolts.
Team Darkstar is walking on top of a giant robot burial ground.
Also,
Oh,
while
yeah.
I'm walking on a giant burial ground.
Hey, Ratchet, I've upgraded your bots to turn both cranks. Get close to a crank and press the right directional button.
If Ratchet was a tough cookie, what kind of cookie would he be? I'm gonna go with Snickerdoodle.
So the Fairly Odd Parents dad, whatever announcer guy here, his character name is Dallas, and a lot of the quips are the same shit you'll hear over and over again. So the one that he just told me was, if I was a tough cookie, what type of cookie would I be? I'm gonna go with Snickerdoodle.
Huh.
2000 humor for you.
Well, I mean, it's kind of funny though.
Ratchet can take a licking, buddy.
And I died.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I never configured the
This is the weapon
image on
screen.
this.
Here, you can select any weapon you
Unlocked
own
acid.
and modify it. To
Because I
modify
don't
a
have
weapon,
anything else, they're best for me to get acid right now. So that way I can do some damage over time. Oh god, I'm killing myself already.
Interesting fact, folks. Dread Zone started out with 2 guys fighting over a breakfast burrito, and the rest is history. Looks like Team Darkstar is gonna be Team Dead Star pretty soon.
I forgot to set a lot of aim assist in it.
Ratchet, according to Dread Zone show requirements, enemies appear red on the radar. Allies appear green. Challenge objectives appear blue.
Oh, leveled up.
Alright.
Fox has designed his weapons to gain experience as you use them, which allows them to be upgraded. Upgraded weapons not only do more damage, but can be modified.
And that killed me instantly.
Now pay attention this time.
I'm finishing this level one way or another, darn it.
There's the determination I like to see.
Oh, they leveled up at least.
Here is some good news. Each time your weapon upgrades, it unlocks a new alpha modification slot for you to use.
You know, sometimes I think I could have taken that job on Annihilation Nation. They've got a great devil plan.
And dead. Well, I'm just gonna simply call that there.
Huh. Gotta beat the level.
You're right. The show must go on. Oh god.
Oh yeah.
Forgot
That
about
was
that. And he shot through
Yep.
the thing. Squeak. Gotta
His
sit forward now.
trademark.
Gotta get in that whole serious mode now.
And someone takes two of your stocks.
Run, Ratchet, run! And that Lombax is terminating with extreme prejudice. It's a good thing we're out of range, Juanita. We are out of range, are we?
Ratchet, you can expand your map at any time to get a better view of the area. Ratchet, I am detecting a swing shot orb ahead. Jump towards it and hold down the fire button. Your swing shot will deploy automatically and carry you across the gap.
There's like no way to get health.
There is. It's just very sparse. There's actually two different ways that I know of. First one is these boxes, and then there's an upgrade you can get later, which is depending on the amount of damage you do, you get a certain amount of healing back. But it replaces mods like the acid one I got right now.
Hey.
And the challenge is done.
This all-terrain
And now I
destruction
get the
comes
mech.
fully loaded with power steering, AC, jumbo-sized drink holders, and enough plasma mortars to take out a small star system. Team Darkstar's not out for a Sunday drive today, folks. They'll be blazing a trail right into the center of the Catacrom Burial Dome.
Ratchet, you will have to use the Landstalker's mortars to destroy those quasar orbs. That should clear the way.
Like, I just want a game like this right here. Just some sort of challenge, some enemies to fight, some ridiculous weapons. That's it. Guess I might have
So
to make
Halo?
my own game.
Darkstar is
I mean, kinda, yeah.
hard. Ratchet is on a rampage with the Landstalker. Oh, I can't imagine the damage-filled red zone is gonna get for this. Will the person driving a mint green Man Ray 5 please report to security? You're parked in my space.
Your bots accumulate attack power each time they take a hit or deal damage. When the power meter reaches full, you can order them to deliver a devastating special attack.
Just maybe some more longer tracks to go through, so you know.
Yeah.
We are loving this carnage, folks, but it's time for the final showdown in the Catacomb Burial Dome. There's no telling what lurks inside these walls.
Ratchet, you must defeat all your opponents in order to complete this challenge. In other words, stay alive.
Coming up from the ground. This guy needs a catchy little kind of shtick, you know, a nickname. Ratchet, the radical rockin' rodent guy. What do you think? Ratchet's got this match on ice, ladies and gentlemen. The juice is cold, and the generic brand X gelatin is definitely jiggling.
Sorry, I ain't talking much. The announcer is actually going off a lot, so I'm just letting him speak because it's funnier than anything I'm gonna say.
Still selling yourself short again.
No, like, in the moment, he's just going off about, like, everything. It's just like, like, some of the stuff, the clips are actually just kind of funny.
Work, Ratchet. I must admit, I was
Like, the
worried.
juice is hot, and the generic brand X gelatin is definitely jiggling. Like, I'm just hearing that, like, every 5 seconds or so. So it's just like, do I really want to speak when that's going on?
Well done, Ratchet. You have completed your first
So
Dread Zone
technically, the
campaign
planet
and
is
won a
done.
medal.
I can
You
do
have
these
also
little
unlocked a new
challenges,
set of
and
objectives
I'd,
called
like,
Dread
finish the
Challenges.
planet off. You know what, technically I could do that, just do, like, a planet
Ratchet
of
will
video.
race to beat the clock. Each checkpoint he passes will earn him a few extra seconds.
And this is
Team Darkstar,
not one of
get
those fun
ready to
little
race.
challenges doing this. Hell, I actually thought about making a game in Unreal. Speaking of games,
Awesome.
I just lack the art talent for it.
That's the ambition.
No, I've thought about it for years. Not the Unreal part, but like making games. I've got like 3 ideas in the back burner I've always wanted to do.
Remember,
And one of them is technically
try
a,
and do this at home.
either a
Follow
prequel or a
Dread
sequel to
Zones.
this. The prequel might actually be like the best way about it, because the whole idea... Oh god, I died. The prequel to this, because I mean it'd be unofficial, but the idea is like before this was a thing, how did it start kind of crap. And I missed the ring. I think I should use the gun to blow those up so they don't blow me up, but hindsight's 2020.
Yeah.
This This thing does not drive well. Missed the ring.
What I want to know is how Ratchet uses
Oh, God.
the bathroom in that suit.
Technically, every ring I do, the time gets extended. But not
Right.
fast enough. Okay, doing better than before. Oh, was doing better. Jinxed it.
Fun than a busload of cheerleaders.
Okay, I didn't die, but I jumped over the ring. Passed it again. No. It's almost done. Just let God, don't miss a ring. Missed a ring! It's it's right there, damn it. See, this is kind of what I'm looking for as far as like with you and me. It's just like if I fail it, here you go. You try.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. Pass controller.
Yeah. I failed. Here you
Yeah.
go. Actually, that'd just be technically the original Mario games. Each
I mean,
world or
that's
something like
just-
that.
Yeah. That's like the times of yesteryear.
Well, if I'm anything,
Okay.
it's nothing but nostalgia.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. Aw.
Folks, I hope
This thing
everybody's
does
beat me
not
because
reverse
we're not
fast.
making for commercial anytime soon.
Can I actually salvage this? Or have I lost too much time? Probably lost too much time. If I don't mess up, I can salvage this. There we go. And then, yeah, Destruction Derby, so I think from the Landstalker thing.
It's time to hop into the Landstalker. Take out as many enemies as you can. Don't forget to order the Dread Zone home game.
You can drive over a vehicle pad at any time to repair vehicle damage.
There we go. Hit the score limit. And then one more challenge left, and this planet will be completely done.
This is a Dread Zone favorite. Our contestant will have to destroy 3 ancient statues.
Oh no, side question, since I'm technically doing PS2, is there any old consoles you would actually want to emulate? Well, not emulate, but like capture or whatever.
I mean, what all do you even have?
Consoles-wise?
Yeah.
God.
That you could even hook up to. Well, like, 'cause I feel like you're mostly more into, like, you know, PlayStation 2 and Xbox, yeah?
a lot of the older games I'm into is usually on the Nintendo side, so anything Metroid-wise. Besides that, if I had to jump off Nintendo, the original Xbox, well, technically going back to Nintendo, but not Nintendo specifically, would be Conquer, well, not Metroid, but Conquer's Bad Fur Day, Conquer Legend Reloaded on the Xbox. PlayStation 2 titles, so like Ratchet, Sly. Never touched Jack and Daxter, so. And I was just trying to melee, because I didn't have any ammo.
Crash Bandicoot.
Never touched that one either, honestly. I did Crash Team Racing as a kid, but that was it.
Right. Trying to think of like the cool thing about being able to capture these is that you get to reignite some of that nostalgia to those who haven't played such a game in a long time, and something you don't see much anymore, so it might interest a lot more people as well.
Yeah. I know they
So, you know,
technically redid Crash Team Racing, and I have that for
Right.
Switch.
Yeah.
That game originally was harder than hell. Original Spider-Man for PS1. So like PS1, PS2, GameCube era was like my favorite era. Same thing with like
Right.
N64. I have a good number of N64 titles that I enjoy to this day.
You ever wondered what's in the special sauce?
So what's your top 5?
For what, N64?
Yeah.
Conker's Bad Fur Day at the top of that. Can't ever pull that game out of my memory. I don't know why, but yeah. That one's up there. Number 2 would probably have to be Donkey Kong 64. Just the amount of things to do, the frustration of that game, and just actually being able to say that I beat that at like 7 or 8 years old is just kind of astounding in my own head. 3 would have to be Mario Kart 64. Just because I was always that kid that was doing really good at it and everyone else hated it. The modern Mario Karts I'm not really for. I mean, they're not bad titles. It's just I find it to be kind of, they put in a lot of stuff to make it easier for other people. And not like Mario Party levels of like if you're last, you're first kind of stuff, but it tends to be a bit spammy. So.
You're gonna make me end up dusting off the NFL and playing, wait, did they put Mario Kart 64?
They put Mario Kart on there.
Might have to dust that off and do that. That was my intro to Mario Kart, because I didn't grow up with the Super Nintendo.
Neither did I. I didn't even know that was a thing until I saw it later in life.
Alright. And it's hard, too.
The Super Nintendo one?
Yeah, it's difficult.
Oh, God,
I mean, a lot of inspiration did come from that one when they were making Mario Kart 8 and stuff. That's how they brought the coins back and stuff.
Gotcha.
But it's a harder one. It's a harder one to grasp anyway. To me. But I may have to go back to Mario Kart 64 now.
Well, number 4 was Pokemon Stadium, just because of all the mini games and stuff like that. I never really messed with 2. Actually, long story short, there was this after-school, before-school program my elementary school used to do, where you could actually drop your kids off if your job kind of required you to be in and out by a certain time. So some parents couldn't actually drop their kids off on, when it was time. So they had entertainment stuff everywhere for the kids. So you had like Legos, actually depending on the age. So if you're more toward the older crowd, you were on the side of the cafeteria that had like Legos, the N64 and stuff like that. But if you're on the other side, I think you had not the N64, you had something else, I just can't remember what it was. But you had like Mega Bloks and all sorts of other toys. Whereas the kids that were more older had like the N64, they had Legos and shit like that.
Right.
But during summer, they had a summer program too, and some people were allowed to bring in their games. I would bring Conquer, just for the multiplayer stuff of it, and That in elementary school almost got me in trouble.
You think?
Yeah, it was really fun. Because there was times where like, depending on what was going on and stuff like that, you'd just be allowed to kind of be left alone. So I was like, well, if I'm the only one playing it and I'm used to playing it, they ain't gonna say anything, right? Anyway, yeah. But some people would bring in their other games, so I'd had access to like Super Mario every now and then, or I had access to Pokemon Stadium, too, because they originally had Pokemon Stadium 1. And then, of course, for me, at 5th, these aren't in any particular order where it's like, this is my number 1, it's just top 5. The last one was Banjo-Tooie.
Really?
Yeah, I always love the second one.
I heard that one's hard.
The first one, to me, is way harder. Because, like,
Okay.
if you had to... Okay, so the first one is more difficult because you can tell they're still trying to get the balance with a lot of stuff. So the challenges are a bit more difficult because they're trying to make you grasp certain context of stuff, and they just didn't know to some strength what that meant to some people. Like, the game is good regardless. It's not like, oh, well, you know, you gotta realize that you have to jump and, like, people aren't gonna grasp, you know, you can do this in 3 minutes, but people are having a difficult time, so it's like 5 minutes would be more easier. Nothing like that. It's more or less just, they packed so much into it that it's just hard to, like, keep track of everything. So, like, on top of, like, trying to collect certain things, you're also trying to do challenges for other stuff. And it's just, it can kind of be a little bit over the top. Whereas Banjo-Tooie, everything's a bit more spread out, but the difficulty is in the fact of, like, all the things you have to go get and have to do to progress. And the sad part is I actually own both those games originally, and I don't ever think I've played Banjo 1 to completion.
Well then.
It was like, the first one, again, wasn't bad, it just, I don't know, just, it was always difficult for me. But I could do 2
Yeah.
easily.
That's surprising to me. But I never hear anything about Banjo-Tooie.
I always liked it way more than 1. It was like, 2 just got more refined for me. Like, the levels were better to me, the soundtrack was a bit better, the characters were just a little bit more, not relatable, but like, more enjoyable. So like, some of them had their jokes and stuff like that. Some of the enemies and the challenges were actually there. Oh no,
Right.
who knows, might have to actually stream in 64 now.
See, look at that.
Well, I
Funny
gotta
how that
find all the
works.
stuff to be in 64, but can do it.
Expansion pack, transfer pack.
Oh, I have all that stuff, because for Donkey Kong 64, you have to have the expansion pack to play it.
Yeah.
Nah, can't cheat it. Gotta go the long way around. But what about you? What's a console in the top 5 for you?
I mean,
Like, what did you have, and I'll pick the console. Like, growing
well,
up.
wait, what did I have in the console?
Like, what was the console that you had a couple games for growing up?
Oh,
Like,
well,
did you grow up with the Super Nintendo? Did you grow up with the 64? NES? Atari? PlayStation?
in the home, I grew up with the plain NES. We only had a few games, but I guess my top 5 there would be like Mario Brothers 3, Mario Brothers 1, Punch Out, what did I play? Dr. Mario, and
Challenges can be
there's one
completed in
more.
any order once they are unlocked. Your status on Dread Zone now allows you to access
What
planets
was
Tetris?
Arathos.
No, I actually didn't have Tetris on the NES. I had um oh, River City Ransom. Love that game.
Really?
Yeah, but it was mostly Mario games and then River City Ransom. River City Ransom definitely went out there. My sister and I used to play that one a lot. It was kind of hard. I mean, on normal difficulty. I spent a lot of time on that one, and honestly, it feels kind of short though. I know that they have like sequels to it and whatnot now though, but I haven't really touched them yet. Um, but that's mine. Later on, I ended up getting like I got an N64 from someone. I didn't get a Super Nintendo, and then I got a GameCube later. Ever since then, I think I started buying all of my consoles, the Wii, the 3DSs, and
I don't want to
Game.
say
Well, not
we were rich growing up, but we had a habit of collecting stuff as generations kind of went on. So, like, growing up for me, my earliest memories, we had the NES, the Super Nintendo, the Atari, and the N64. And then just as I was growing up, you could tell my brother put some money aside and got a PS2. I got a GameCube for Christmas. We all had Game Boys, and we had DSs and stuff like that. But growing up, we couldn't share for some reason. It was we were incapable of doing that. So the best option for us as kids was just like, okay, you get a Game Boy, you get a Game Boy, you get a Game Boy Advance, you get a Game Boy Advance, you get a DS, you get a DS, and it was just like that growing up.
There is a combat arena
So
up ahead.
it was better that way for those anyway, since you could like link play.
well, that was for the portable stuff. When it came to the actual consoles, it was like we had one. It stayed in one area, and you could tell each person had their own time for it. But the problem is, my brother never often wanted to play because he got extremely frustrated with a lot of titles. So it was over before he really could actually enjoy it. So like he got PlayStation 2, and a lot of the titles he was just having a bit about, because a lot of them were hard. Went from like playing Banjo Tooie all the way up to just playing like Ghost Recon or something like that, or
Right.
Tom Clancy's SOCOM or something. So it was not a smooth transition.
No, I can understand that.
And the sad part
But our
is a
older
lot of
games
those
are hard
titles.
anyway.
Yeah, the sad part is a lot of those titles I think I still have actually.
Yeah.
But once I got to the point where a lot of background story stuff happened to where I'm finally at now, I just got to the point that I was just collecting. So I've managed to garage sale, yard sale, a bunch of stuff over the past like 10 years, and just have numerous things to my collection of consoles and all sorts of things. Like I somehow managed to trade someone for a PS3 when I was in high school. Like if I had to point out all the systems I have now, it's utterly mind-blowing to me that I've managed to either buy for such cheap prices or been like, hey, your kid's a gamer, give this to him kind of crap. So like I've been traded people's N64s, so I've got like 2-3 different shell versions of it. I have an original Wii, have several 360s, because those things always had problems. I have numerous original Xboxes, because I was often grabbing those, fixing those, and giving them to my friend who was selling them. And I didn't really bother with like getting paid for any of that stuff, because I honestly was just like, if I fixed it, I fixed it. If I didn't, I didn't. So it was just, I got to enjoy it, and I got to kind of hone in my electronic skills when it came to like doing stuff like soldering and replacing pieces or just troubleshooting of that nature. I have a lot of portables. A lot of portables. got several different versions of the original Game Boys, the Game Boy Colors, and stuff like that. Game Boy Advance SP from childhood. Still trying to hunt down her original Game Boy. I'm not feeling paying like $80 to $300 for that. But I'd love to buy two. One that's just on its own, the original, and then buy one that's something I can kind of screw with, mess with, as far as like, oh, well, let's put an IPS kit in here, speaker upgrade, USB-C stuff. Like, just have one to kind of mess with and alter. I have DS, DS Lite, 3DS. Only one though, the 3DS XL. Or, sorry, the new Nintendo 3DS XL.
Oh, goody, the swamp is up next. Oh,
Yeah,
I
a
love
lot
it.
of those.
I mean, just the Nintendo side of what I have is, God, there's a lot.
Just look at that
Then there's
field
like
trip.
some of the obscure
Slide
stuff. So like I own an Atari
wow, I can
2600,
smell it from up
I
here.
own a Sega Dreamcast, a
Ratchet's not gonna make it
ColecoVision,
out of here on foot. He'll have to commandeer the
TurboGrafx
Puma on the
16.
far side of the swamp.
Oh, and there's my text messages.
I heard that one.
Yeah. Nope. Not taking that one. I got an offer for tomorrow, and I'm kind of just, I'm half tempted, but I'm not, because I really need to go in and make money.
Alright.
But other than that, like, the amount that I have collected is astounding. I have several different versions of the original PS1 from like early release. Oh, being attacked. Got me while I was monologuing, you sly dog. So yeah. But I guess I'll call it there for now. I don't know. If I can find ways to show off some of these other consoles, I will. I actually don't even own the Dreamcast games. I've had to burn a few just to even make sure the console worked.
Right.
But other than that, I don't know. Maybe I can start trying to find Dreamcast games, add it to the library or not.
Yeah, because I never owned Sega consoles.
I owned a few growing up, but never really had memories playing with them. I just remember seeing them. So, like, we owned a Saturn as a kid, and I managed to get one later in life, but I don't have any titles or anything for it to really mess with it. So I own the system, but I just haven't collected any games for it.
Right.
Never had access to stuff for, like, the Sonic games, so I never messed with, like, the Master System or anything like that. But I know it can get ridiculous as far as some of those titles and stuff like that. Some of the portables that I know I don't have is stuff like the Virtual Boy and stuff like that. I mean, I grew up with the NES. I still have my childhood NES. Don't ever really remember enjoying any games on the NES from the collection I had, because I didn't have a good widespread of them. I just had, like, the game that came with it, which was, like, Mario Brothers Duck Hunt combo cart. And then I just had, like,
Right.
crap titles afterwards. So it was, like, Jurassic Park, some weird battleship game, some gladiatorial night one. And then that was it for the longest time, and then somehow we got traded some extras, so I had, like, Donkey Kong Jr. on there. But that was, like, what I had, so I never had, like, Zelda and all that stuff. Never even had the original NES Metroid. I got that later in life, along with one of the Game Boy carts of it, so it was like the NES titles brought up to Game Boy, so I got to experience some of those games. But yeah, other than that, I guess I will talk to you guys next time, or see you in the next video. Maybe he'll be here, maybe he won't. Who knows? The silence is staggering to me.
Bye.